Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Shaira and I post planner and lettering videos on this channel. So today I am moving out of my Scribbles That Matter journal, which you guys have seen me use over the last few months. I am starting my 2020 bullet journal, and it's going to be this new Archer and Olive notebook that I just picked up. I picked up this burgundy one with the flower on it. I think it's super pretty. The cover is super luxe. It does get a little dusty because of the felt material that it's made of, but overall I really love it. The quality is amazing and I'm super excited to be using it. It has these two bookmarks, the ribbon bookmarks in it, and I do love the little addition of the ampersand on the bottom. So yeah, I'm going to be setting up this bullet journal for 2020. I know this is a little bit late, but I have been so busy just with the holidays and everything, so I've only recently set this up as well. Here are the pens that I'm using for this spread. I'll kind of go through them as I use them, but I'm going bold because of the paper on the Archer and Olive, and even using things like Posca paint pens. So here on the very first page, which is literally right behind the cover, it's not even an actual page, I'm writing down my key. So I've been doing bullet journaling for the last year, and I'm kind of switching some things up just to see how much it will work for me. I actually forgot to draw the symbol for task migrated there, but I wanted to just write all the key things or the symbols that I'll be using for my key there. I wanted it to be easily accessible, so I didn't want to put it on a page, so I wanted to keep it on the cover. Here I'm just writing my name down on the name page, I guess. But yeah, so I'm just doodling around it as well. So on the first actual page, I'm going to draw out 2020, and on the very back, I actually tried to use the Posca paint pen first just to test it out on a test page. As much as I've seen a lot of people watercolor in their bullet journals when they have an Archer and Olive, I just wasn't 100% sure. At this point, I started erasing the pencil lines that I had on this page initially. So typically when I do bullet journal spreads, I do pencil lines first just so it's easier for me to film it when I do want to film it. And because of that, one of the Posca paint pen parts wasn't dry yet, so it's smudged, but I was able to easily cover it up with another Posca paint pen, which is super cool. So here I am drawing out my grid spacing guide. I mostly use my journal in halves, thirds, and quarters, so I just marked down how many spaces I needed for each. Sometimes I draw boxes and sometimes I just draw lines in between those sections, so I did write both. For example, on the quarters you can see it's either 6 boxes or 6.5 if I'm just drawing a line. On the right side, I'm lettering out this quote which says, "Consistency is more important than perfection." And I was kind of sad because this wasn't really to my lettering standard, but obviously just going with the quote, I didn't need to go for perfection. But I did want to elevate my word of the year. So my word of the year is consistency. I want to be more consistent with a lot of things that I do. Part of that is posting my journal spreads as well as other planner content that I used to post on my Instagram. So after that, I'm doing my feature log. So this takes forever, so I totally sped up through this. But I actually did not do a year at a glance this time. I just wrote all 12 months on 2 pages. And so I just wrote all the months and the actual days that come in them. And I think after I filmed this, I did write some of the events that already happened. This would allow me to be able to write down events that happen way further in the future when I haven't really set up that month quite yet. And I really like that. So that's how it turned out. I really love how minimal this kind of setup is. I did just do kind of a grayscale minimalist setup, mostly blacks, whites, and an accent gray color. Here I'm using the Posca paint pen again to just draw these boxes. So I mainly used my Arteza fine liner in 0.4 to write most of the things that I've done. It is the thicker pen of the 2 pens that I use, and then I also used a Deleter Neo Pico fine liner as well, which I used in a couple of videos before, which I picked up in Japan. I also thought that it'd be cool to use white marker on top of that black marker, so I did do that. It was a little bit harder to write on some of it, only because I pressed too hard into some of the black and it's already full of paint marker, but when I did figure it out, I used a lighter hand and was able to write on it very smoothly. I do really love the Posca paint pens a lot. So here on my 20 in 2020 page, I drew out a bunch of different like papers / sticky note types. I wasn't even planning on doing this at all, but I don't know, something just happened and I realized, this might be a little cool to do this. It was a little tight and it's not perfect at all, but I thought it'd be cool to just include more doodles into this very minimalist spread. I'm just adding 20 different like shaped boxes there. On the right side was kind of like places to go and things to try. It's kind of like a if we have trips that we're trying to do, or like food I want to try, or restaurants, etc. I just want to list them down there. One thing that I've done in previous bullet journals is the year in Polaroids. This year, I decided to only do the first 6 months. I'm awkwardly using this random photo of me in a Polaroid. So I did only do the first 6 months from January to June in these boxes. I'm also writing down this quote, which says, "We are making photographs to understand what our lives mean to us." So yeah, I just wrote the months above the photos just so I can see them even once I stick photos down, and I did also add some washi there as well. I really like how this turned out. It's a lot less cluttered than I previously had this page, and I can still add the next couple of months in a future journal. I have a good feeling that I'll be using this journal very often because of the fact that the paper is just so nice. It keeps me motivated to keep doing things in it, to be honest, and it'll be great to just be able to keep things kind of separated, just so I don't have to keep going back to an old journal once I've moved on from it. So here I'm doing something very new to me. It's a health tracker. One thing I've realized is there's times when you just experience random pains or get congestion or whatever other health issues, and other times it might be more necessary for you to keep track of what that is if it's more consistent. So I did want to just do that as a general tracker that I have in the beginning of my journal. On the right, I'm writing down a section for affirmations and one for planner ideas. It's just a super quick spread where I just want to jot down a couple of things, so I did just make it super simple and quick. On the next page, I'm doing a reflections page. I'll be doing a little bit of journaling in this bullet journal as well, not just kind of planning related stuff. So I did just write reflections from last year on here, and I'll kind of do that off camera at some point. I'm drawing out a border on this next page with the gray Tombow dual tip brush pen, which is in N95, and I'm writing down this quote, which is, "This is the start of anything you want." Like I said, this is the Arteza fine liner that I used mainly, and then I'm also using some Posca paint pens here. I keep like checking the back of my paper just because I'm so used to markers like this bleeding through, and it just doesn't. It's so amazing just how buttery smooth this paper is and how thick it is. So that's pretty much my setup. So I'm just going to do a flip through. There's my key and my name page. Next up is my 2020 cover page. I do really like the lettering for 2020 right there with the heart in the middle. Here's my grid spacing page. I forgot to write down that it was my grid spacing guide. I just want to kind of put a title there, so I did just write that down super quickly as I was flipping through. On the right is just a quote page, which has my word of the year, which is consistency. On the next page is my future log, which has all of the months of the year. I really like how this turned out, just how minimal it is. It just looks so official. Here's 20 in 2020, places to go, things to try. Here's my 2020 in Polaroids page, my health tracker. Hopefully don't have to fill it out too much, but it's there for when I need it. Affirmations, planner ideas, reflections, and a final quote page. So I will be setting up January very shortly as well, so I'm super excited to share that with you guys. But I hope you enjoyed seeing this bullet journal setup, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.